great t-shirt and offerings out there and apparel like that. Check them out if you want some SGDQ2018 themed merchandise. Without further ado, folks, it is time. We are ready for Dragon Warrior 3 by vaxherd. Take it away, main stage.
Hello there. I see we have a number of people who have got
ということで
off to the
始まりそうなのかな？
upcoming sound clock, or maybe some of you are just still basking in those sublime Castlevania runs. Either way, I will try to keep you entertained. So first off, I believe there was a bid war for the hero's name. Host, if you could pick that up for me. And while you are finding that, just a quick round of introductions. I am vaxherd.
I'm NES
時間としては1時間20分までで終わるらしいんですけど。
And they will be assisting me greatly. NES Cardinale, as you may recall, ran Dragon Warrior 1 at AGDQ and did the amazing job of not only running a manipulated route, but commentating it himself. And if you've not done it before, you do not know how hard this is. So I will be definitely interested to hear your take on that. Wexel, of course, with the great Final Fantasy VI run coming up later in the marathon. And Raptor, I know you've been looking into this run yourself, and I'm definitely interested to hear some of the things you may have run into yourself. So without further ado, can I get the hero's name?
Yeah, hero name will be Command.
Command?
There will be commands in this run.
Yep.
結局名前はコマンドのままなんですね。
That's correct.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay, so I am selecting slow. This is not a mistake. Slow is fast in this game. But if the timer is ready, I'll give you a countdown in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Vax.
Good luck, sir.
All right, so just to get started here, we are this wonderful hero who is currently lying in bed taking a nice
Good
nap.
luck.
But we're going to go ahead and wake up because this is our 16th birthday and we have a very important job to do at the castle. So just as a quick point of order, many of you may be familiar with the Dragon Quest name. Dragon Warrior and Dragon Quest are actually the same series. There was a trademark issue when these games were first released in the United States. They could not use the Dragon Quest name, which was the original name of the game in Japan. But that has since been resolved, and the recent games are all called Dragon Quest, but these are in fact the same series. So here we are going up to listening to this wonderful castle music as we go up and talk to the king. And he is going to give us our mission, which we will find out is to defeat a great evil, because that is, after all, what heroes do. See, our enemy is the Archfiend Baramos, who is apparently going to destroy the world. And since the world is in such danger, the king gives us a fortune with which to equip ourselves, this fortune being 50 gold.
50 gold.
50 gold. And
Yes, you will see just how far 50 gold gets you in this world in just a moment. As you may guess, the answer is not much. I have sometimes wondered if Baramos is actually this great evil he's made out to be, because if it's only worth 50 gold to the king to defeat him, then, you know, whoops, slight mistake. Sorry about that. Controller, please. Excuse me. So, you see, we had 50 gold. We now have 25 gold. And we now have 0 gold.
Back to the king for more, right?
like I'm out.
So, but there are actually some other little things we can do later on, so we won't worry about that for a moment. Instead, we're going to go find some friends to help us on our journey. So,
If anyone's not familiar with Dragon Warrior 2, the Wings of the Wyvern that you just bought are the teleport item in this game. They can send you back to any town that you've been to before.
Yes, and so I may need to re-roll these characters a couple of times because there are very specific agility values I need. So let's see what we get here. A 4 is not good enough, so we need 5 agility on that character, so we're going to re-roll. When I do normal runs, I have a specific set of names that will give me the particular agility values, other stats that I need. But since you donated for this wonderful name, we are going to get creative and give similarly wonderful names to our other characters. So here is, we don't get a good agility, so we're going to have to re-roll this one as well. Actually, host, if you have a donation, this might be a good time because this will take just a moment.
Okay, I'll read this one since it's a bit of a throwback. Rodimus donated $50 and said they were So distracted by the
これは今
Castlevania
何を
I forgot to
仲間を増や
donate
してる
during them. Circle
Oh,
of the
no.
Moon was the first Castlevania I dug into, and here I am 17
全
later
然ドラク
years
エ
later still playing
本
them
音がわ
often.
かんない
I've gotten so old. But thank you, Rodibus.
Thank you very much for your donation. Wow, we are not getting this agility here. It's,
見た感じこれはみんな同じ、あ、データス吟味をしてる。だからさっきから同じ職業を選んでる。
Particularly when he's on the overworld too.
Yeah, so we'll be hoping that I do not make any more mistakes like I just did a moment ago, because at this point in the run they are not that important. Later on they will be much more of an issue. So we have our 3 characters, and we are now going to go out and take some of them with us. So this was actually a feature first introduced in Dragon Warrior 3, in which you can create your own party. So the game actually gives you 3 characters ahead of time. You can see them here: Ragnar, Elucidus, and Hiram in this case. And we are going to use 2 of those. And so you'll start with Ragnar, a soldier. The soldier class in this game is your typical attacker type class.
普通にやった場合は割といろんな職業でいろんなことができて感じになるの。
attacking magic user.
RTA だともう定してるんだろうけど。
So our command has brought fight and item with him, and going to head out into the wide world and see what awaits us. So just a quick bit of inventory manipulation here that will come in useful later.
Yep.
And let us see if we can find some enemies. Let us see if we can find some enemies.
Enemies, hello.
Hello.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so slimes, wonderful. We know what we do with slimes. We attack ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So what vaxherd's actually trying to do here is kill off fight and item. That's going to be important later on in the game.
Yeah, because in addition to RNG manipulation, this run does also use some pretty major glitches too, and this is kind of one of the first stages of setting up for a pretty game-breaking glitch he's going to be doing.
Yeah, things will get even more interesting later, but for the moment we are going to take these 2 ghosts and store them at the Luisa's place, which is the party storage area.
Yeah, Luisa is open to all, alive or not.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
She takes ghosts, it's no big deal. Nothing like a haunted Luisa's place to hang out and, join a band of adventurers.
Okay, so we've left them, and now we're going to take 2 more characters out of here. So we're going to take the wizard Elucidus, who was created for us, and we are going to take Spell with us.
もしもし、音量の方大丈夫でしょうか。
説明していただいたんで、音量だけ。
I did not actually screw up, but there is a very clever thing we are going to do here.
音量大丈夫ですか。はい、昨日に引き続きですね、お邪魔させていただいたジリオンと申します。海外版ということなんで、見慣れない職業名とかあるんですけれども、だいたい日本語版でもで書いてですね、分かるところをできればと思って、ハセさんにしました。ちょっと、お願い、本家の方を割り出しますので、少々。
Talk about the seeds later on in a bit. But for the name incentive, we can't quite get that, and so we need to call in the doctor. This is a separate file. We are going to be repeating a little bit of what you just saw. But this particular file is set up so that I can get a battle on the first step into the overworld, and that will tell me what my current
RNG being random.
ですね、何をしてるのかわからないんですけれども、複数のデータを、使うということと、あとですね、日本語版ですと、缶受けバグと、呼ばれているバグを使ってですね、途中、いけないことだらけの ことが発生すると思うので、そこがおそらく一番のところに思います。ストーリーとしては最初、バラモスという魔王がいて、それをですね、討伐してくれないかという話でですね、主人公に白羽の矢が当たったわけなんですけれども、確か数年前にですね、主人公の父親のオルテガというものが、冒険に旅立って、そうですね、オルテガ、息子の、負担を軽くするために、先に冒険に出てるはずなんですが、後々出てくると思うので、こちらの方も、お楽しみ。この海外版のオルテガさん、すごいいい暮らししてるので、山一見の価値ありというところですね。多分先ほどの、ところでは、光わざと間置き送りにしてると思うんですけれども、仕込みが後々効いてくると思うので、それも、お楽しみいただければと。
Command? Yep, so vaxherd is going to be doing a lot of stuff with this RNG here, and you can kind of suss it out a couple different ways. You can watch for steps that the characters are taking with their feet, or you can use music. So vaxherd's going to do that right now.
基本的には魔王がで魔物が暴れ回ってる世界観のはずなんですけれどもですね、なぜかというか悪いことしてるんですね。敵がいないんです。ほとんど出てこないですね。確かファミコン版だと、これ痛恨の AB ボタンを押しっぱなしにすると、平和な世界になるというバグが発生するらしいんですけど、海外版だとどういうキー操作なのかまではちょっと調べることができて、日本語版で試す際には痛恨のバグですね、使ってみていただければと。一番最初に入るダンジョンの初めの塔でしたっけ？ここにはですね、夢を見ているおじいさんがいて、主人公に盗賊の鍵を渡す夢を見ていたらしく、塔の最上階にいるおじいさんですね。なぜか鍵を開発用の仕様なのかどうかわからないんですけれども、ファミコンの時には一人プレイだというのに痛恨の方にですね、いろいろコマンドを仕込んでいるものがなんか多々あるというふうに言われてますね。このドラクエ3もそのうちの一つということで、馴染みのと最上階のおじいさんに話するとですね、なんだろう、シーフズティー、それをいただいて、で当然飛び降ります。勇者の皆さん3階から降りても全然平気なんで、飛び降りての、キメラのワイバーンウィングかなんかで書かれていると思いますが、そちらを使って街に戻ると。で、この盗賊の鍵を手に入れることで、魔法の玉ですね、それが手に入るんですが、今2個目のセーブデータにちょっと触って1個目のセーブデータ呼び出してたと思うので、おそらくなんか悪いことが入ったかなと思うんですけど、ちょっとここの部分はですね、でもデータ戻してるのかな。戻ってる感じですね。どこがうまくいってなかったのかまではなかなか判断できないんですけど。あれですね、多分さっきのおじいさんに会うところまでは夢だったということで、これから本当に会いに行けるわけですね。
So again, this ties back to the discussion of RNG seeds. Put very simply, an RNG, random number generator, is a mathematical function
本当序盤は、何をしているのか私もわからない部分が多くてですね、説明がしづらいんですけれども、じゃあざっと、これから起こるというか、今の、ドラクエ3の世界状況をですね、簡単に説明させていただきますと、バラモスがいたはず、そう、魔王バラモスがなんか、悪いことをしていたはずなんですが、おそらくもういなくなってます。元からいないのかな、もう元から夢落ちというレベルで、バラモスの登場は一度たりともないはずです。これは日本語版のRTA 動画の方でも上がってるですね、夢見るルビーバグあたりでも同様のことが起きてますね。やはりバラモスいないと。痛恨の一律の AP ボタンじゃないですね。2個目のコントローラーの方の AP ボタンですね。こちらを押しっぱなしにしておくと、痛恨の AP ボタンで、なんか指めちゃんこ痛めそうなんです。じゃあそれはですね、ノーサンキューですね。さあ先ほどここまでしてさあ、なけなしの売るのか売らないのか。出ますね。いや、もうギリギリですね。
Because he needs an extra 10 gold to buy an antidote herb as part of setting up that incentive later on.
So we're going to get just enough money for what we need here.
これで166。まあ、おそらく重要なアイテム。メディカルハーブ、薬草ですね。まあ、とても重要なアイテム。ということなんで、いくか。まあこれ、薬草なんですけれども、本当に薬草なのかどうかっていうところもですね、今回の見どころの一つかと思います。いや、そっちのハーブじゃないんですね。薬効成分ある方の、薬効成分ある方って言うとまた、なんか、やばそうですけど、はい。こう、ちゃんと市販されてる、8ゴールドぐらいで市販されてるんで、もしかしたら、そこら辺の薬局で売ってるのかもしれませんし、あっちの世界では道具屋で売ってるというものですね。今、魔法の玉。なんて書いてあるんだ、マジックボールわかんないんですけど、なんかそんなものが。さて、最初にいた島でやることは、ほぼ大体終わってしまったそうですね。
This part's a little more relaxed, although once he actually gets going in the cave, he does have a pretty difficult encounter skip that will be quiet and let him hear an audio cue for.
But if you have a quick donation, you probably get
ア
one
イ
in
テ
right
ム
now.
を移して、
Okay, Brian donated $25.
通常ですと、
Excellent move.
先ほど手に入れた、魔法の玉をですね。そう、魔法の玉っていうんですけど、マジック要素なくて、どう考えても物理現象なんですね。マジックボールセットと、何をどう見ても葉っぱにしか見えないんですよね。っくりとこうバッて、で、ここも本当はモンスターが溢れてるはずなんですが、やはり出ない。いや、平和な世界はいいですね。確か魔法の玉って攻略本で書いてると、本当ボンバーマン的なこう、黒い、丸っこいのに紐がついてる、導火線がついてるような確か絵だったと思ったんですけどね。
Fortunately, the sprite movement is really easy to track, and it's a great indicator throughout the run of how far you've walked for things like this.
Because yeah, a lot of a lot of the similar skips like this that he's going to be doing in dungeon areas, or he can just use landmarks.
この細かい動きと途中でやってた回復の意味がなかなか私の方も分かってないんですけど、おそらく何かの仕込みではない。あ、演歌キャンセルは、多分痛恨のボタンかなんかを押してと思うんです。同じバグだと思うので、なぜか、2個目のコントローラーの AB ボタンを押すと、音楽のタイミングが。なるほど。
Yeah, and even then, counting those steps because the hero's feet are
それはそうだ。そうですね。乱数調整は途中されてるそうで。
And I've missed it a couple times too because of that.
So we're going to have one more encounter skip up here really quickly.
ここでおそらく夜まで待ってですね、カザブの村に入ると思われます。これが音調整ですか。
You may have noticed we passed a castle down there. Don't worry about that. It's not important.
They'll be fine. They'll find their own crown.
Yeah.
Yep. So we entered Cave just as
で、夜間この村に入ることで、この道具屋だか武器屋だかのおっさんがですね、猫てているので、ささっと毒針を拝借して、で、ここから不思議な儀式が始まります。先ほどのカザーブの村の2マス下でエンカウントはおそらく起こると思うんですが、
The problem with that is that since we just skipped an encounter, we have a whole bunch of steps before the next one, and no good way to get to it. So we're just going to take a quick little tour around these wonderful mountains here.
Yeah, this upcoming encounter is the whole reason for kind of coming this far into the storyline.
出ましたね。
Kind of earliest opportunity to get a monster that can inflict the numb status.
この戦闘も
That's not good. Fortunately, we have a workaround for this. May involve us dying and restarting, but let's see. So that was a bit of poor luck, I'm afraid. But we have a way to work around it. All right.
Yeah, I got a brief glimpse just yesterday of just how much work was put into making this game marathon safe, especially with different names for the main characters, and it is extremely impressive. Basically, we have contingencies for every possibility, and the RNG works a little bit differently in Dragon Warrior 3 than in Dragon Warrior 1.
あそこで毒を仕込むと、毒じゃないですね、麻痺を仕込むかと思ったんですけど。
So it's just super impressive to me.
Yeah, so ideally, we would have liked that soldier to survive that hit, but unfortunately, we had a little bit of damage earlier. Ideally, I should have noticed that and done a recovery, but I failed. I am sorry. And so we will do a little bit of recovery here. We have a nice friend here in Luisa's place who will give us some money to recover with.
これはおそらくたのではないですかね。ちょっと。
What I'm going to do is I am going to grab this wonderful fellow's armor, sell it off.
前に走ってたこの人の動きとは違うので、やっぱりミスってるんですかね。うまくいってると、先ほどの先ほどの戦闘で一人麻痺状態で二人ですっていう形で。
There's a piece of RNG that is saved in SRAM that will change as soon as you take an action in battle, and that makes it so basically
どのようにリカバーするのかもちょっと見ものです。これは。
In-game changes, and vaxherd has a very in-depth knowledge of how that RNG works. So there's all sorts of complicated contingencies.
Yeah, so we are going to pull our friend's spell back out here. So it's going to take just a minute. What I'm going to do next is sell this. I'm going to pick up. Noticed I used up a couple of.
うまく成功してた場合は、あの後、夢見る、ルビーのバグと同じですね。全員、次状態で、ドットダメージをですね、食らうことによって、なぜかアイテムが変わるというバグをですね、いっぱい使って、必要なアイテムを全て揃えてからの魔王討伐が始まるはずだったんですけれども、おそらくそういうブラックなことを雇って追い恥して
Your work on this, both this route and the Taz inspired me to run the category. And I want to say thank you to both you and PJ for all of your help. I'm ready for all that spam.
Thank you, Random. Yeah, Random is another great guy who has picked up this run recently.
まあでも幸いレベル1なので、確かドラクエの復活費用はレベル ×10 だかなんだかだ。レベル1の1は薬草にちょっと手の生えた金額で復活ができると。非常に優しい世界が。そうですね、棺桶は使わないというのが海外版では。そういう配慮がされてるそうですね。
Actually heal ourselves up. Spell, okay. So make sure that this time everybody has all the hit points they need. One more herb. This last herb we're getting is
ルビーバグの細かい、解説はできないんですけれども、なぜかそうすると、アイテムが変わっていくという、起きたことはできる、説明できるんですけど、説明というか、話せるんですけど、どうした原理でできるかっていうところまではなかなかわからないですね。でも、今回起きる、こちらの奏者さんがやるバグも、同様のバグになりますので、そのタイミングになれば、こういうことかというふうに見て分かっていただけるかと。
Taketh this donation to aid thee in thy journey. Valorous luck. Thank you, Fan
Excellent. Thank you, Fangamer.
Auroris with the $10 says, Vax, be sure to herd your party in the quickest manner. Good luck on the run. Let's not soft lock.
I will do my best. Thank
Cross
you.
Your fingers. Beta Strep donated $150 saying, of donation money, thou hast gained 150.
Nice. Excellent.
Darth Bear B is delighted.
Yes, I'm certain he is. Yes.
多分、おそらく今回の、走り込みで出てこないだろう、その夢見るルビーの、入手した時のパターンとですね、パフパフバグですか。こちらの方を簡単にですけど、紹介だけしておこうかなと思います。まず、夢見るルビーというアイテムがですね、結構序盤の方の、クエストアイテムといいますか、イベントアイテムであるんですね。通常はそれを、関係者の方に渡ることで、イベントを進めていくという、交換するアイテムなんですけれども、そちらのアイテム、なぜかすごい思い入れがこもってるのか、眺めてしまうとですね、麻痺をしてしまうという、なんかバッドステータスを呼び出してしまうというアイテムがありまして、その麻痺というのは、ドラクエの中での麻痺というのは非常に重い、バッドステータスでですね、行動が取れないだけでなく、なんか毒のように定期的にダメージをもらうと、ダメージを受けてしまうということがあってですね、それによって、普通は、死なない状況下であっても、それにより死んでしまうということが起きるんですね。それによって、 HP の
Unfortunate when there's so
デ
much
ータ
to
が
go through.
な
I
いの
can't
に
stress that
HP に
enough. There's
ダ
so
メージ
much
が入っ
data.
て、バグが起きて、なぜかアイテムが変わっていくという、そういうバグが発生するのが夢見る、ルビンのバグなんですけれども、これをですね、パフパフを受ける際にですね、使うことによって、確か2番目のキャラクターがパフパフを受けるときに、麻痺をしておくと、パフパフを実際受けてない3番目の、見送ってしまった3番目のキャラクターの経験値がバグってレベル99になるというですね、不思議な成長をするというバグがある。それがパフパフバグと呼ばれるレベル99にする方法の。あ、これ成功しましたね。3番目のキャラクター。おそらく戦士だったと思うんですけれども、状態異常があって麻痺が起きてます。これで戦闘をキメラの翼で回避します。あ、もうこれ完全に成功ですね。
So being able to both have that and be able to attack is nice. Those little hesitations there, by the way, too, were more manipulation, because when you have the numb status, you can randomly break out of it just through overworld movement, and he was dodging specific windows where if he took a step, he would get unnumbed.
So the hardest part of the run is actually over, and I am relieved. So yes, I'm sorry it went so jitteringly, but things should go a little bit more smoothly from this point out. I am making a backup save here because for the next part of the run, which is where we actually do the fun glitching, there is a chance that we can glitch out a part of the game to make it uncompletable at all. And so just in case that happens, fairly rare. But I've had it happen before.
この後4人、ゴースト状態に
Yeah, that's why I bought an extra wing as
でパーティーを組む
get only one, but having the extra one makes it that much faster.
なんですが、
So here we're going to bring back our soldier, Mr. Ragnar.
Yeah, who still has the numb status.
Yeah.
That got preserved when he was left at Luis's.
Yeah, now we're going to leave our wizard Elucidus first. So that is going to leave Ragnar as the only living character in the party. Now, normally you would expect the game would not let you leave your last living character, but there is an interesting bug, so let's see what happens.
Spooky.
Well,
Ghost party.
2 spoopy, 5 me.
So here we can bring back fight and item. If you recall at the very beginning, we turned them into ghosts as well.
これは多分一番最初のスライムで同士打ちをしてゴースト化した。はい、これで綺麗にゴーストパーティーが出来上がりました。日本語版だと漢字が4つ連なってですね、非常になんだろう、強烈な絵面になります。1回ダメージ2、3。これで、あ、確認しない。ダメージのエフェクトはですね、先ほど麻痺をしたはずのあ、もうなんかアイテムが変わってますね。レインボードロップ、これが、虹の雫です。クリアに必要なアイテムの一つですね。
Yeah, because he's kind of abusing code where the game checks if you're standing on a swamp tile in the overworld and should be taking damage, and it kind of normally counts how many living characters you have, but it can't really count up to 0 is the problem when you don't have any living characters, so it's kind of, it's exceeding the boundaries of where in the game's memory your character's party, your party members' data is stored, and then it's trying to subtract hit points from just other parts.
で、アイテムの調整をして、
which is having some very special effects now.
So we're going to have a few more cycles that look just like this.
先ほどあれ何でしたっけこれ。ルイダム酒場か。酒場の方に、しまった戦士の麻痺がですね、判定としてどうやら残ってるのかどうかですね。で、ダメージが発生するときに、どうもそのメモリーの読み取りですか。それでバグが起こって、アイテムがどんどん変わってっていう話ですね。もう、あとアイテムいじって、おそらく乱数調整されてるだろう冒険をですね、繰り返すんですね。で、虹の雫は先ほど、レインボードロップというアイテムで発生しています。これでシールド・オブ・ヒーローズ、なんだろう、何の盾かはちょっと日本語版わかんないんですけど、これが光の玉ですね。スフィア・オブ・ライト。で、なぜか魔法も増えてるんですね。普段は、おそらく内部的には1レベルのはずなんですけど、勇者の盾ですか、ありがとうございます。で、そうすると勇者の盾と、虹の雫と、あとは、何が出るのかな。
So this is one of the unfortunate things that can happen. The game suddenly recognizes that something isn't quite right, and reminds you that one of your characters is dead. That's very kind of it, but unfortunately, that is actually not something we need. So we're going to have to redo that one step. So you can now see that we have Armor of Radiance, basically. Okay. So we have a Sword of Kings. Unfortunately, we are probably going to lose that, and so we're going to have to take an extra cycle later on to get it out. So now we have our commands in the proper order, for those of you who may have been worried about the spell coming first. Do a little bit of dancing here again.
I believe for that cycle we had to do that dancing in order
多分このアイテム変換が、今回の冒険で一番長い部分と思います。ウォーターフライングクロスだから、今ので、水の羽衣ですね。これを、作り終わったというところです。
If I let the status box pop up like this, then it turns out, if you give me just a moment, get a few steps in here. Turns out that one of the steps we need, we can't get if that status box pops up, because it is only 10 frames long, and a single step cycle is 16 frames. So we just skip right over it. And so I believe we should be almost done. Nope, we lost Sword of Kings, so we will have to do that. One more cycle in just a moment, but that won't take very long. We are almost done with this. So for those of you who want me to get on with it, I am almost there.
Yep. Come on, we need to go fight Baramos. That's what
who?
we're here for.
Who's Baramos?
Who's this Baramos you talk about?
フィールドでダメージ発生してるのは、先ほどの、麻痺をした状態で、酒場に預けられた、戦士が原因だというところまでしかちょっと解説ができないんですけれども。
Which is crazy that it loses that ability in Dragon Warrior 1.
ドラクエ上では確か麻痺の状態だとダメージが発生したような気がするんですけど。
So just need to do 2 more steps to tweak that, and we will be ready to go.
ちょっとそこが、すみません、曖昧ですね。あったような気がするんですけど。毒も、歩きダメージがあるんですけど、毒では死なないだったかなんだかで。
So, recall, Black Raven is an enemy. So normally they are very vicious, not domesticated. There are rarely domesticated Black Ravens. And as you can see, they are very popular among the gentry. So with our newfound fortune, we're going to go ahead and pick up some useful items. We're going to get a Wing of the Wyvern. A late game town was mentioned earlier. We need to have a way to get there. And we're going to pick up some herbs, because we always need herbs. healing is great, right?
Yes.
Yep.
なるほど。すいません、フォローいろいろいただきまして、ありがとうございます。
And use those herbs.
Indeed. So we're going to need to pick up about 4 more of these, and then we're actually going to go ahead and revive our characters. And as the healer from Dragon Warrior 2 says, it's a very delicate operation. It may take a little while. And so since it will take a little while, why don't we see if we have any donations?
We do indeed. Mint Kuro sent in $10 and said, have to donate for Dragon Warrior 3? It was always my favorite Dragon Warrior game growing up, and I have so many memories with it. All hail Loto and Erdrick. Also, praise the sun.
あとは多分、
Here's Hawkeye7704 with a $50 and says,
復
Can't
活させ
even
た
tell
後
you how
は、
stoked I am that my favorite game of all time is being ran at GDQ.
いよい
Enjoying
よ
all the Dragon
本
Quest
編の
we've seen this year.
魔王討伐が始まるかと
Thus a legend
思いま
was
す。
born.
Yes, thank you very much.
Here is $25 from Anonymous, who says, I wanted to donate during my favorite RPG series. Shout out to Vax, NES Card, and the other runners of this series. Good luck!
So we're one by one restoring our commands to their rightful place in our menu. So we got 2 more to go here. Spell and item.
先ほどのバグのせいで、なぜかレベルが低いのに、使える魔法が
So a nice thing about having this
超高レベルなものが使えるので、
another
火力としては
that vaxherd did is that the 2
いい
pilgrims
線いってる状態ですかね。
pilgrims more likely than anything could potentially lose some of their max HP. And if they go too far down, vaxherd's going to have to buy some magic armor and
あ、バラモスはもう、もう多分骨になってるはずなので、一回だけ骨で。生身の方は二度と出てこないと思う。
And the herbs and stuff here is called a stick slime, but I think that's only like 270 gold.
277, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't really be much leeway there.
It looks like his HP is good though,
Yeah, the
so we
HP
don't worry
is
about
good.
it.
Yep. So I just need to do a little bit of inventory manipulation. Unfortunately, this game is very verbose about moving things around, so this will take just a moment. But we do want the Sword of Kings at the top for the
そうですね、もうルーラの行き先のフラグも立ってるというか、行ける場所増えてるので、多分ゴースト化して、外をちょっと歩くとですね、いつの間にかすごいことになってるということが、もし試す機会があれば、まあ皆さんも試してみると、ルーラができるかもしれません。
Precision is not required for this section because we're done with our fighting until our next save, and once we save, everything is going to be set for the next section.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to once again save here at Luisa's place, and another reset. So we're going to be going through this a few more times because we need to set up another file. If you noticed in my menu, I have this E question mark file, which I have been using to set up the RNG. We're going to do something similar, but with a different name this time. And actually, I needed to reset before I do that. So give me just a moment. I will need to go do a couple more resets.
してもらったらダメです。友達を見送ってその背中を見てるとレベル90。自分が言ったらダメなんです。
Since it is shared between all the files, we can set up a file on a different number, change that balance.
そう、4人パーティーにして3番目にいて2番目の人を見送ってその人が帰ってくるとなぜかまあまあそうですね。だから実際それを受けないことによって、さあ、それちょっと話が全然別の方向に行きそうなんで、2番目の人は、2階に上がった後に、確か缶落ちになって帰ってくるはずですね。ちょっと私も、そっちの方の、バグの方の確認はそんなに厳密にやってないので、ちょっとわかんない。さて、多分はぐれメタル3匹。
We will need to try that
あ
once more.、
いや、ミス
So
った
what
か
Vaxherd's going to do is he's going to manipulate his way into an encounter with 3 metal babbles.
バランス調整がうまくいってると、ここではぐれメタル3匹が出てくるはずなんですけど、
which is going to level the hero to 17 and the other 3 to 18.
Yes. So yes,
in
you now
one
have an
shot.
idea of what's coming up. So we're going to begin 3. So one very sneaky thing about setting this up, I was talking earlier about how these specific names set up specific RNG seeds. However, that's also based on the order of the files in memory. Sometimes the game will shift around the
おそらく
files.
失敗してますね
Sometimes。there will be garbage left over from a previous file. So all
これ
of
で
that
リムルダールに飛んで、一番最初のエンカウントで、はぐれメタルが3匹出てれば成功です。
just things do it once more, so we do need to set up this.
成功ですって言い切ってちょっといいのかどうかも怪しいんですけど、私が見た時には、この奏者の方は、
once more wing over to Remildar, and this time,
うまく出せたと思うので、一周、
Worth pointing out that the ghost ship doesn't
3周
exist
目
in
途
all
中
regards, so his
あ、ま
timing for his movement doesn't need to be quite as precise.
There we go.
So, oh my goodness.
あ、出ましたね。
They're surprised, so we will fight.
で、ここでですね、夜盗んだ、
And then
How about
spell
that
is going to
crit for
crit.
10? Poison
は
needle.
い、毒針が猛威を振るう
We're
と。
going to run away because we're scared of all this experience, but we fail, and instead we get 26,800 experience, which means we sit back and level. My
level
dear
time.
host, would you happen to have any donations for us?
そうですね、運命ですね、これはね。 めちゃんこいい運命です。
Ortega with $25 says, My son
ちなみに、ここからすごいね、レベルアップ長いので、
Just promise me that if you ever find
しばらくお待ちください。
King Hydra, don't just stand there and watch.
Right?
Well,
So Ortega might be a bad father, but he's a bad son for watching.
Mr. Popo donated $25 and said, I've been looking forward to this Dragon Quest run. Old NES
休憩なさる方は今がチャンスですので。
in my opinion. Dragon Kurask donated $10 and said, Dragon Quest / Warrior got me into gaming as a teen, and I've played most of it. I love seeing them get
風呂入ってこれるレベル。
Love the Dragon Warrior
RTA レベルの風呂ですよ、それ。
Love the one this year. Here's $25 from Cake.
いやいやいやいや。
Loving the Dragon Quest
やっとここまで来てくれて。本当助かりました。
any of the GDQs. Thank you for running these games for a great cause. And command.
thank you for all of the donations. So just to go back a little bit about all of the strange stuff that has been going on. We talked a little bit earlier about the seed lock.
これはレベルアップバグではなくて、普通に、経験値を入れてレベルを上げてるはずなんですね。ただ、いじってるというところは、はぐれメタル3匹が出たというところが、おそらく乱数調整結果ですね。でも、これでレベル上げは終わりのはずです。この奏者さんはこの後、ここですね。
And normally a game will take this deck of cards, shuffle it, will draw one at a time, and those are the random numbers, the damage in battle or what have you. What we do with the seed lock is we force the game to stack them all in order. And then the game goes to give us a random number, but it's just pulling up all the aces and then all the twos and so on.
Yeah.
So when the game goes to find an encounter, this particular game, when it goes to see has an encounter occurred, what it does
なので、
in this example,
このレベルアップが終わると、 大魔王ゾーマの当の中のメタルスライムに毒の粉は確かこの前の RPG リミットブレイクでレースやってた時にそういう感じをしていたようですね。スーファミ版ですとそこで、レベルを上げてなんかバイチルトまで覚えきって、魔法使いから戦士でしたっけ転職するっていう確かルートだったと思うんですけど、もう終盤というかもう冒険は今始まってそろそろ終わりそう。でもね、魔物もそんなにね、痛めつけるっていうのもね、よろしくないので、やっぱり仲良くいかないといけないということで、危害は最小限。なんか、ブラックな雇い方したやつも何人かいたような気がするんですけど。 そうですね、ファミコン版ですと、いろいろアイテムが出せてしまうので、アイテムが出せてしまうというか、そうですね、クリアアイテムが出てしまう、いじくって呼び出せてしまうので、なので、倒さなきゃいけない敵とかもいないですし、そもそもその、ラーメンって言いましたっけ、空飛ぶ、不死鳥ですか。あれも、卵のまんまの予定です。魔王サイドの被害者ですね、この後、はぐれメタルが、あれ2匹、1匹確か逃げたと思うので、2匹と、あと、器物破損をですね、4つほど、
The community at large was worried about doing a run without corrupting some data on your cartridge and essentially ruining it.
Yes, there was a concern about that. So I've actually looked into this when I was developing the task.
そうですね。パパさんが。でもね、本当パパさんいいです。スライムも1匹。多分あれは、勝ってたのか、勢い余ってやっちゃったのかなと思ったんです。でもあれ別のデータだったような気がするので、おそらくは、むしろ勇者側の被害の方がゴースト4体出てるんで、大きいんじゃないかな。
think it could cause any hardware damage, but it's certainly not a design feature of the system, and so that is something that you do not want to do. But other than that,
2人終わって今3人目のレベルが半分ぐらい。17から18ですね。
made in the program, but it is not an error or a problem with the system itself. So this is safe and. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Also, if anybody's getting concerned, by the way, about the health of vaxherd's thumb from having to mash through all of these level up messages, he actually can just hold down the A button and buffer them all frame perfect.
逃げましたか。じゃあ、ヒゲなしということで。
Everything was safe. He did the world's first console run on hardware. I think this was about a year and a half ago.
だってまだあれですもん。主人公さんやったことといえば。魔法の玉でどっか壊したことと毒針払ったことぐらいしかないので、完全に勇者ヒーローではないですね。ちょっとカルマ的にはマイナス方向にシフトしてると思うんで、これからいいことしないと。
I've got a ton of great ones here, but probably one of the most relevant right now, I feel, is from Nopsled909090, who donated $50 and said, "The amount of preparation from vaxherd is awe-inspiring. Thank you for your dedication and effort for all of our entertainment and charity. Keep doing what you're doing."
ウルティマだったらもう無理ですよ。得システムあれ厳しいんで。
I remember renting DW3 for 1 week with my hard-earned lawn mowing money. Speaking of, the battery on the cartridge didn't work, so I left my Nintendo on for 1 week while I played it every night.
ちゃんと人に許可を取らないと、タンスは開けちゃいけないとか、開けても中のものは漁っちゃいけないとかありますからね。そろそろ、もう一晩経ってるんで、道具屋の親父もそろそろ気づいた頃だと思うんですけど、ただ、地下世界があるってことは知らないはずなので、綺麗な高跳び、今決まってる感じです。でももう、多分その毒針も出番を終えてしまったので。
When we step out onto the world map with nobody alive, and we were talking about how the game will try and look at lots of memory because it doesn't know how to count from 1 to 0. As it happens, there is one character location which we can control, and what it is it is the pointer. If you think
そうですね、先の話をしてしまうと、そうなんですよ。もう上の世界には二度と戻らないので、戻らないのか戻れないのか分からないけど、
And what we can do is use that to control which piece of data we overwrite. So, for example, by stepping on a certain note, we modify the first item in the second character's or the fourth character's inventory. And that is how we can do this as accurately as we can. In the task, the tool assisted speed run, we can actually take more steps per cycle because we can.
そうですね。英語版は、ドラゴンクエストではなくて、ドラゴンウォーリアー。なんていう名前で。今、本編で言うとですね、ラスダン前の、ラスダン前直前の村です。町。ここが最後の地になります。ここ、レベルアップが。そうですね。ウィンドウが緑色なのは禁止だからです。
So we're going to come back here, do one more save because we want to go back to seed lock that I was talking about a moment ago. And so we're going to have to come back here to Luisa and save. And as Puexel was just saying, the most important note in the run, do not reset early. So you notice there was a short delay between when I said leave, which is just to get her to save, and when she started putting her next text up. During that time, the game is actually saving. And if you reset before the text comes up, it will say your file is corrupted and you will have lost your run. So we do not want to do that. Fortunately, we did not, and so we are ready to get on to the final bit of the run here. So do one quick bit of
なんか半径かなんかが先に名前使われてたかどうかの理由ででしたってね。ちょっと、正確なことがわかんないんで、その辺のことはウィキを見ていただければ詳細は載ってると思われます。さあ、ここから大魔王討伐が始まります。
And one heal turns out is not enough to skip the encounter there, and so we do that. We skip the encounter, and again we have about 200 or so steps of free movement. So you will be seeing a little bit more in the way of using heals or a little bit.
1マス外れてるところなんですが、クリアアイテムの虹の雫というものを使うとですね、橋がかかって進めるようになる。ね、でこの虹の雫取るの非常にめんどくさくて、3つのアイテムを揃えて交換するとかいう、そんなシステムだったと思う。
When he uses it, it has a chance to randomly break. I mean, it's not going to break because of his manipulation, but the game checking to see if it's supposed to break or not changes the RNG in a different way from a heal spell, so that gives him kind of extra flexibility with how to...
まあ、クリアアイテムの元から手元にあれば使うだけという話。こんなめんどくさいクエストをせずにですね、ちょっと幽霊になれば手に入ってしまう。さあ、またここで悪いことが起こるはずです。
The first of which are coming up in this room here.
So I'm going to, I did 2 heals you saw earlier, and I'm doing 3 uses of the Wizard's Ring here, and then I'm going to do 7 more heals. And again, this is to set up a very specific RNG.
そうですね。FF も、あれ、FF6 が3でしたっけ？ FF3 かなんかだったかっていうような話を聞いたことがあるので。
And the convenient thing here is I can just look at how many MP I have left to see how many heals I've used. So this is going to be number 7. And now we can go ahead and open that door.
私も最初は不思議だったんですけど、おそらく、器物破損がそろそろ。
Oh Lord, look at that.
We are the guards of the chamber. You will have to defeat us first.
Well,
and that's important.
器物破損2個行う。
As it happens,
今から使う魔法は、ザラキの魔法ですね。普通は決まりにくいんですけど、このザラキ決まっちゃうんですね。なんで決まるのかは分かんないです。儀式の結果ですね、おそらくは。はい、器物破損2、残り3と4ですね。はい、これもザラキで。はい、器物破損4件終わりです。
And you can see how we're getting just the 1-1-1-1-1 there, and that is the effect of the seed lock.
You'll see that at the very end of the game too, after the final boss is defeated, a little nice effect of that.
そうなんですね。先ほどのバグの時にですね、ザラキがこう、なぜか思い出してしまったというか、気づいてしまったんです。 キブタスもっとやるのか。すいません、私の調査ミスでした。まあまあまあ。まあまあ、2件が6件になったところで。
Yeah, it would probably not be recommended for a vanilla run. You probably want to be
あ、なるほど。正しい姿に戻しただけ。そうですね。その解釈をすれば何も罪はなかったのかもね。
So with that, we've got our 3 sets of Granite Titans down. We very conveniently just learned the spell Step Guard, so we're going to go ahead and use that.
これでドラマナでしたっけ？日本名だと。
Gosh, a stairway. So next we have this wonderful D-pad maze here. So you're going to see all these diamond tiles.
ここから先はしばらく散歩が。
Because all of these tiles, they will change the direction you move when you press your D-pad. There's a very specific path that we have to take to make sure we don't fall in any of these.
これひし形のものの上に乗るとですね、十字キーの入力方向が変わるというもので、本来は普通にプレイしてると乗るたんびにあれどっちだって確認しながら進むんですよね。白い三角か黒い三角かどっかが北になるっていう。どっちだか覚えてないんで、今やると落ちちゃうと思うんですけど。どうだったんですか？私ね、実機プレイの時には、残念ながら、冒険の書が消えてしまってですね、レベル42のギガデイン覚えなかった悲しいデータが消えてしまったという、そういう経験で慣れてしまったので、実機プレイはここまで実は行ってないんです。
In my route at the time, I had 4 extra steps that I needed to take before going down these stairs. I did not take them, and very bad things happened afterwards. However, in a wonderful coincidence, I discovered that I do not, in fact, need to take those steps there.
そう、本当。42でギガデイン覚えるんですよ、2分の1ぐらいで。ドラクエ3は本当ね。あ、そろそろイケメンパパ来ます。私が知る限り一番濃いんじゃないかな。
Poor guy has been trapped down at the bottom of this volcano for who knows how long, fighting Ortega.
いやもうこの
Still
姿。
going on, but spoilers, he's not going to last very long.
So yeah, so the RNG guarantees that Ortega loses in 2 turns. So that's pretty cool.
これがね、オルテガの姿だったら本当。いいオルテガですから。ファイアーエンブレムに出てきそう。確かに。ファイアーエンブレムの勇者もこんな感じですよ。
But as it happens, when the programmers designed this, they actually put in a case, a message for
でも残念ながらこう、
Ortega won. It will say Ortega used up the last of his strength and passed away, or things of that nature.
こうなことに。まあでもこれで復習の理由がついたので。
No treasure for you.
そうなんですよ。ファミコン版もあの姿だったらもう少し思い入れが。
But yes, the programmers put in a special message for that. But as it turns out, it is impossible.
神田田はどっかのところにまだいるんじゃないですかね。
I actually wrote a simulator to test that out because I was curious. There are about 268 million possibilities for state when you enter that battle. Every single case, Ortega loses.
あれ何の魔法使うんだったかな、ここ。
It ended up being an unnecessary thing, but I like to call it out because it's an example of good programming. They may have had some glitches in this game, but that thing they did right. And as a programmer myself, I like to call out when people do good things. So that was a great step.
But now it's time for revenge.
Yep.
Now it is time for revenge. Got revenge for our poor father. So I am actually going to have to
revenge. 親父の敵。
Yeah, so actually, coincidentally, this being the first fight in the boss rush, this is the one that's going to take the longest to kill. He's going to take 4 turns to kill King Hydra.
And then I think Raptor mentioned the parry glitch earlier on in the run, and it's going to be used fairly extensively in these boss fights too, where he's going to select the parry command and then to move on to the next character and then cancel back, and then the game doesn't actually remove the and that just halves the amount of damage they take on the next round.
And so here, he queued up with Spell, he queued up Revive because he knew Fight was going to die. And since Spell went first, Fight still gets his Infermost off there.
Very confusing
この時点で使える強いのが、そうですね、今のがバイディクロス2回ですね。バイディクロス2回をソウルでやってる感じですね。マヘアドはブリザードっていう魔法なんで、多分打ってないです。今のは、ソウルの方がバイディクロスと、あと、途中で3つれなかったんですけど、リザードがアイスボルト打ってたんで、シャドウを1回入れてると思います。
And every now and then, it will, when you press something on the D-pad, it will double input, and bad things can happen. Fortunately, I have never had that happen, and it has not happened here. So,
you know where that actually happens to me a lot, and it's annoying, is the A button.
Yes, that is another thing that, yeah, it happens to me from time to time as well. It's very frustrating, but we learn to deal with it. So, going into our second battle here.
Yeah, it's a Baramos thing, I guess.
Yeah.
でもモーストがついてるんで、これはバイキクロスですね。
Ordinarily kind of a nasty fight just because Baramos can do 1 or 2 actions per turn and you can cast Explode.
もう完全に、パターン入ってるはず。
But through the manipulation, he's actually guaranteeing that Baramos Bomas only gets 1 action per turn.
And this is Baramos Bomas's last round of life.
ただ、当然この19レベルでは、ザラキもバイクロスも、あと多分後半で打つと思うんですけど、メラゾーマも打てないんで、打てない予定だったのでですね。ブロスさん、なぜ出てきたのかわかんないんですけど、先にブロスさんが出てきました。バラモスの、兄弟なんですかね。でもあれですよ、この後に、このバラモスさんの兄弟さんの、恨みを晴らすためにですね、バラモス、かっこ骨が出てきます。
Yep, so here what's going on is that surround spell is going to ensure that old zombie Baramos here doesn't actually do any damage like that.
確か通常戦うと結構攻撃力が高いんで、まあそこそこ強めというかパンチが痛い、気をつけないと危ない、敵だったと思うんですけど、まあ計算された世界では。
Do undead creatures have an afterlife? Or is it an after death?
綺麗に倒しきりですね。あともう一人。
Level 20 happens for command, and we'll have our final levels for a Zoma fight. And command being level 20 is pretty essential, as we're going to see in a minute.
Yeah. So you noticed I should have healed fight and spell in the last battle. I didn't. However, we can actually work around that problem. How are we going to do this?
パワー最高のね、ホームランバッターでも全部ゴロに、打ち取ればいい話というのがここで証明された。
And then you may have noticed we had this interesting item called the Staff of Change in our inventory. We're going to use that real quick. And look, we all turned into sages.
これいるのかな？これもいるのかな？前見たとき違ったと思うんだけどな。
See here is what has become a very commonplace way of dealing with certain enemies in RPGs, but I believe this was the first, at the very least, North American.
ゾーマ、光の玉を使うことによってですね、ベホマをはじめとした回復行動でもダメージが入るんですね。はい、若干画面がフラッシュするのでお気をつけください。
Go through with our humanitarian effort here and give Baramos the healing, or not Baramos, but Zoma the healing he needs.
Yep.
はい、メディカルハーブこと薬草はですね、大活躍。この世界薬草最強ですので、8ゴールド、1ゴールドを何回投げるんでしょう。
And there you go.
Let's have to pay respects.
So time is not
5回か
yet,
6
by the way, there is a little bit
あら、
more
私も
work to do.
まだタイムは若干続いてるんですけど、討伐はこれで終了です。ちなみに5回か6回しか投げてないですね。8ゲルを5回か6回なんで、最初にもらった50ゴールドで倒しきれるということが、証明されたということですね。ヤゴさんはよく見てます。
It does way, way, way more damage than it would heal you as a result.
You saw on the previous screen there were a bunch of random holes
これは、
normally
はい、
appear
討
in
伐前
random
に
places on the screen, but again, because we're in a seed lock, they appear in a nice diagonal line, and I always thought that looked really nice.
Yeah. So interesting
そうなんで
story
すよ。
about
お釣りが
that.
来ちゃ
When I
っ
was
てる。
first
それに
developing the
少なくとも2ゴールドぐらいですか
I
ね。
got to that point. I spent about a week.
いや、王様の計算能力半端ないです
Just solid math, working back and forth through those 4 battles, trying to find the combination of actions that would let me survive. And I finally got through it. And I got to that point. I thought the game had soft locked. I thought the seed lock effect that I had caused the game to get stuck. And I was quite upset for about 10 seconds or so until it finally finished up. But I thought the game had soft
多分
locked. And I
王
was
様
really
はですね、
disappointed
ゾーマしかいないことも分かってたんだと
I thought it was a
思い
really
ます
big
よ。
route, and it was going to be spoiled at the very last moment.
とも
Right after
見通してるんじゃない
I
か
killed the final
と。
boss, and yet I can't complete the run. So, but
Yeah, because like in most Dragon Quest / Dragon Warrior games, you have to go home.
欲張りのことはもう触れてはいけない。
After killing the final boss. And that's where timing is going to end.
yeah.
So, I myself run all 4 Dragon Warriors, and pretty much all the work I've done recently with Dragon Warrior 2 and 3 is a direct result of
一応確か最初闇の世界って言われてたんですかね。地下世界、アレフガルドですか。それに光が戻
and
り
it
ました。
goes so far
という
deeper
ことで、
than you can just see through a run like this. So hopefully we've done a decent job of explaining to you exactly what's going on.
But before we're done, though, we have one last
Yes.
bit of business to attend to.
I believe the slime ending incentive was met.
It was
ちょっと外れにあるお城に入って、
Let's see who our true heroes are.
And by the way, the comments over here have been very appreciative, so you've been doing a great job at explaining things.
Thanks.
So,
Okay.
if anybody's a Star
あ、これもしかするとドネーションのやつですか
in a
ね。
group like this, the hero gets all the glory here, and I feel like the other 3 party members are all Chewbacca, and they don't get a medal.
なんか、
Like they
ド
don't
ネー
even
ション
mention.
で、何でしたっけ？
ドネーショョン
We
で
have、to do this a few times until we get the
はい、
specific character.
スライムエンディンググリッ
The
チ
Staff of Change is a quest
という
item
の
you
をや
normally
り
need
ま
to
す。
turn in to get
Oh.
the Sailor's Thigh Bone
多分
earlier.
これですかね。
そうですね。多分変幻の杖でスライムに変身してエンディングを迎えるっていうやつですね。
Yeah, so we're coming up on time here, so if you get ready on that.
で、これの寄付目標額が、3万ドルです。
どうだったんですか？なんだろう。はい、GG です。
GG です。はい。
スライムが世界を
Given
救
all
って
the
しまった
mistakes。in the beginning, that's probably not a bad time. I was hoping to get under an hour, but well, things happened. Nonetheless, I'm glad I was able to get through it, and I hope you all enjoyed it.
And thus the legend of the
この光景は
slimes.
3万ド
I
ル
give you the true
の
heroes.
光景です。
なるほど。
The slimes.
Yes.
いや
So
ー、
if
3
any
万
of
ドル
you,
の勝利で
those
す
of you
ね。
who've played Dragon Quest games, you probably know how you come across a slime somewhere in a town and says, "Hey, I'm not a bad slime." Now you know where they come from.
それとこれはエンド見るのかな？
That will, I guess, close out the run. Thank you to my wonderful couch for helping me through. So shout outs to the Dragon Quest Discord, everybody there who's running the game. Shout outs to the Japanese Dragon Quest community. I'm sure they all knew all of this stuff years before I even looked at it. Dragon Quest 3 in particular, there was a Super Famicom, which is a Super Nintendo remake of that game in Japan. It is the big speedrun game of Japan. It's Japan's Super Mario 64, and it's just got a huge following over there.
Yeah, like it's the only game where there's a PB
フ
requirement.
ァミコン版は歌ないんですね。
Yes,
あ、
it's
そうですね。
so
曲は流れるんですけど、
shout-outs to Dave
あ、どうだろう。
WM on Task Videos who
SFC 版の海外版は歌があるって聞いたんですけど。
using
なんか私も、ね、ファミコン版は見て、先ほど言った通り2クリアで終わり、スーファミ版はちょっとやった程度しかなくて、海外版はわからない。ただ、
With my voice? Are you kidding?
Thank you for all the work you've put into this series.
エンディングはですね、途中で切られてしまいましたので、皆さん、ぜひ、自力で見てくださいということで、すいません、なんか、こんな感じになってしまって、序盤結構解説グダグダでフォローとかいただいて申し訳ない限りで、なんとか最後の方の解説ができてよかったと思います。
解説ありがたかったです。全くわかんなかった。
We also had $10 from Jet Kusanagi who said, I can't believe I've been working in a hotel for the past 2 years when I could have just been selling ravens.
ここで私は終わりかな。次、ソニックアドベンチャー。ということで、じゃあ、私はここで終わりになりますんで、次のモデレーターの人に交代したいと思います。
お疲れ様でした。
解説ありがとうございました、本当。
いえいえ。はい、では、私も、明日の夜からまたモデレーターで出ると思うので、その時はまたよろしくお願いします。では、失礼いたします。
はい。
失礼します。
はい。
Xenogears88 donated $10 and said, Dragon Warriors without borders. Kyle the Spark donated $10 and said, Command? It's dangerous to go alone. Take the... Wait, wrong cave. Arthur the Last Ancient donated $25 and said, Command? As a programmer, I know full well random is never really random. Manipulating and exploiting this just goes to show how amazing and precise speedrunning can be. Respect and bless RNG. Thanks, Arthur. The King donated $50 and said, Here's $50. Save the kingdom or whatever. Just get out of my throne room. Alright, and up next on Summer Games Done Quick 2018, we'll be having a lot of Sonic action for you, beginning with Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. I've been Prolix, but my time on the microphone here with you is about over. I'll be handing it over to the wonderful and talented Liz Star next. We'll be taking a short commercial break, and I'll catch you guys either late Thursday or maybe on Friday or Saturday. Till then, take care. Enjoy the speed runs.
さて、ソニックアドベンチャーらしいですが、これで大丈夫かな。解説できる方とかはいらっしゃったりはしない。解説いたんでしたっけ？いないですね。いらっしゃらないですね。ということで、まあ、ほぼほぼ僕が雑談するだけになると思うんですが、いいんですよ、キプレイのだけで。そうだけでいいんですよね。キプレイなだけで。何も知らないより。
Hello everybody, I'm Liz Star and welcome back to SGDQ2018 Summer Games Done Quick. We're coming up here on Sonic Block. Hope we're not too slow because we're going to go faster. Let me just go ahead and let you know what we're doing here. we're gathering money for
まあ、ソニ
Doctors
ック
Without
は、
Borders. Doctors Without Borders, or Medicine
まあ
Sans
ね、
Frontiers,
そんなに
is
やっ
a
たこと
medical
はないですけ
humanitarian
ど、
organization working in
まあ、
more than 60 countries around the world.
追いつか
And
な
it's
さ
not
そう
just
な
a
イメージはあり
private
ますよね。
international association. They provide assistance to populations in distress, to victims of natural or man-made disasters, and to victims of armed conflict. They do so irrespective of race, religion, creed, or
あれ、
political
通常プレイ
convictions.
ですら
You can find out
た
more
まに
at
追いつかないぐらいあるし。
doctorswithoutborders.com.
この後が、
We got
この後
$15 from
はと
Max
りあえずしばらくは
Ziad
ソニック作品が続くの
Hey
で、
GDQ, long-time watcher, second time donator. I love the Castlevania block, and I'm donating during the endless level
ソ
up
ニッ
part of
クは
Dragon Warrior
全くわ
3.
からないん
I'm so
だよ
excited for Sonic
な。
Block, my
やった
favorite
ことな
run
いから。
every year, and for countless other great games, including my new favorite, Celeste. Best of luck to all the
こん
runners
な
and
に
save the animals.
特別見たこともないし、あ、
Super
とりあえ
Novice
ずじゃあ
donates
SGDQ
$250
の
for the craziest
イベ
RPG
ント
run
の
I've ever
説
seen.
明をいたしましょう。
Diamond
SGDQ はですね、アメリカで
$150
行われている RTA のチャリティーイベントでして、今回、ドネートなどの寄付で集まったお金は、国境なき医師団に寄付されます。ですね、日本からですと、ドネートでの寄付がしづらいので、寄付に協力したいよっていう方は、イエティというサイトで T シャツを買っていただくか、Twitch の方で本家配信のゲームズダンクイックをサブスクライブしていただくと間接的に支援することができます。で、イエティで T シャツを買うときの注意点なんですが、下にも書いてあるんですけれども、基本的に表記がアメリカサイズになっているので、自分が普段着ているサイズからワンサイズ下げたサイズを買っていただくとちょうどいいかと思います。はい。そんな感じです。ちなみに僕が前回買った時は、ちょっと大きめになりましたね。だから今年の初めにあった SGDQ で、まあ、買ったんですけど、パーカーの方。まあ、長かったですよね。
$15 from Plastic Stomach. I'll have to miss the Sonic block because of work, but I hope the runners go fast anyway.
そうなんですよね。今年のイエティの T シャツ、デザインも結構かっこよくて、もう落ち着いたら買おうかなとは思ってるんですけど。
$25 from Aaron Jevleth, donating another $25 for Prolix being the first to correctly pronounce my name. This donation goes to his choice. And I did not hear him pronounce your name, so I apologize.
メタルスライムがあったりとか、まあ、カービィだったりとか。まあ、忍者ガイデンモチーフなのかな。メタルギアがあるんで、それをだったり。
$25 from Uoper12, great DQ3 run. Now it's time to escape from the city.
そうですね。セットアップブロック2はソニック3&ナックルズってゲームになってるみたいですね。ソニックが、まあ、ここから4作品続くわけですが、
8-Big Theologian donates $25. I may develop neck problems looking over my shoulder at work to make sure no one's watching me watch GDQ, but it's totally worth it. Here's $25 for the SMB one-handed run.
これは何なんだろう。多分まあでも、やってるゲームの中のモチーフがあるとは思うんですけど、FF6?
$100 from Innate337.
あー、
Said
ま
I'm missing
あ、言われて
SGDQ
みれ
at
ば
work
なん
right
かそ
now,
んな
but
気も。
still donate to support. Kill the animals.
6の最後の方の最終形態ぐらいにこんなようなのがいたような。T シャツ買うのはボーナス投票には確か使えないんじゃなかったですかね。ポイント
Hey everyone, it's Gumi.
限
I
定
first found SGDQ in 2015 while
になってる
recovering
ん
from
じゃ
getting
ないですか
wisdom
ね。
teeth removed. I was
おそら
instantly
く。
hooked. Been watching ever since. Keep on doing the amazing work you always do. Also, shout out to my good friend Lauren, who's been putting up with my horrible Sonic-based jokes for the past 4 years. You're the best, buddy. $10 from Felicia Carreri. We are watching you, Luke Blackwood. Way to go. From your aunt in Florida. $40 from Anonymous that says, doctors are pretty cool. I think I agree.
しかし、最近暑いっすね。みんな言ってると思いますけど。誰しもが触れてる話題だと思いますけど、暑い。